So this is my zero, well, partly spoilers for season 2 of the Rings of Power. Now, I've talked about this multiple times. I am not the biggest fan of this show. I don't really pick on it as much as hardcore Lord of the Rings and Tolkien fans do because I am not the biggest knowledgeable expert when it comes to the Tolkien universe. I have read the books. I do know what's going on as far as the main story. I couldn't tell you every single character or the worlds, but I do enjoy it. When I watched the first season, that's how I felt. And the second season definitely picked up. I mean, it had a lot more action. A lot of the storylines that we saw kind of circling the first season were coming together. Things that were setting up what we know from The Hobbit as well as the Lord of the Rings books were coming in, kind of coming into a clear picture. Obviously, they're really focused on Sauron and his, power, what he's trying to do. And I thought it was interesting to kind of see where he came from and see that on the screen. So my positives are good action for the most part. Very much a beautiful looking show. It feels like a movie. You can tell the budget that they spent on the show, from the effects to the practical effects, the CGI, the landscaping, everything. That being said, I can't get into it. I don't despise it. I think if there's a third season, I'll probably watch. It's not high on my radar. It's one of those like, oh, I'm 2 episodes behind and I got nothing to watch. Click it on. But I'm not into it. This whole mystery surrounding who we already knew was Gandalf was the biggest waste of time. It was him roaming around the desert, trying to figure out who he is, trying to find his staff and his name. And that's it, more or less his purpose. They had a moment when they were looking for him. In the beginning, Sauron's forces were looking for him, and then that faded away and came back again. And we were introduced to all these dark forces around him, but yet it went nowhere. Meanwhile, we all knew from episode 1 of the first season that this was going to be Gandalf. They didn't really do a good job with it. It just felt very much like, oh, they said his name. And they were looking for a cheap reaction. And then, of course, much like Return of the King, which ended 5 times, the season finale of episode 8 of Rings of Power Season 2 could not find an ending point. It literally ended. It should have ended at this one very critical point to go into the next season, but instead, they went further for one more ending. Then they went towards another ending. Then they went towards another. So we had 3 endings of an hour-long episode that was the season finale. I feel like this show is losing me every chance it gets. Just when I think I'm kind of interested, I'm finding myself at the end of it going, do I need to watch it anymore? Is this something I need to watch as we're going? Or can I watch it maybe 6 months from now and then go back? If the 3rd season comes out, I think I'm going to take a different approach and wait till all the episodes are out and watch it at my own pace together and see if it helps. Because I got to be honest with you, my interest is dwindling.